Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Connie Douglas from Great Stamping with Connie. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Canada, and I want to welcome you. It is Thursday evening, uh, December 15th. December 15th. 15 plus 10 makes Christmas. It's coming. It's getting close. So hopefully you're, coming on to the tail end of your preparations and everything. But anyway, if not, get to work. Anyway, welcome. This is Connie's Craft Along. So we will spend some time crafting and making some cards. Some people call this mystery stamping because all I give you is the sizes and the pieces that you need to bring, and all the rest is a mystery. I have a different mystery stamping. I do that just once a month. But this one, I do tell you what to prepare, but the rest is a mystery until we start crafting, and then we craft together, which is why it's Connie's Craft Along. So welcome. If you are here, do say hello. Let me know that you are here. Let me know where you are watching from, and I am just going to see if I can get this to come up on here. There we go. See if I can see what I can see. All righty. So, Suzette, you made it. Yay. Thank you for joining me. Hopefully you were able to figure out my instructions, although, oh my word, I'm going to apologize right now because I don't know where my head is. Maybe I'm going to blame, busy Christmas hectic preparations and things. There's at least one mistake. Oh, there's two mistakes that I know of in the stuff that I do to prepare. Nothing crucial, and we can fix anything because in crafting there are no mistakes. There's only opportunities. So, Jen, hello, welcome. So good to have you here. And so there's a good chance for you and Suzette to catch up. I heard you guys saw each other over when was it? Summer, fall? I'm jealous. I didn't get to see Suzette when she was a whole lot closer than she usually is, but I'm happy that the two of you were able to get together. So anyway, one quick thing that I want to mention, free shipping today only. If you have an order of $100 or more, you can qualify for free shipping. And so that's something that you may want to take advantage of. That and my Christmas gift to you if you were part of that group. Anyway, so with the free shipping, if you are interested in placing an order, I would like to invite you to include one of our all-inclusive kits in your order. And in January, we are going to have a kit together party. So I have put this out to members of my team, the Great Stamping Believers, and suggested that they invite their friends or family or whoever to get a kit and to join us. And I've also teamed up with my friend Terry from the United States. And so we will be joining her and some of her friends to craft. And we're just going to get together. We're just going to hang out. We're just going to craft and gab and share ideas and, talk all things crafting. So it's going to be a fun time. So if that is something you are interested in, you can choose any kit you want. We don't all have to have the same kit. They're all inclusive, and they all come with their own instructions, and we can help each other as we go and stuff. So just pick one of the kits that appeals to you. Some great stuff for birthdays, thank yous. There are some Christmas things in there if you want to get a head start on next year. All righty, we have lots of people coming in tonight. Hello, Lorna. Hello, Donna. Welcome. So I am going to flip this down and we can start some crafting. Okay, so I have the cup of tea stamp set here, and I am going to be using that tonight. If you are still working on Christmas cards, that's awesome. You can use some Christmas stamps for this. The layout will work for that. But I'm going to use the cup of tea and the teacup dies. Try all these guys. I have them here because I've brought my little mini cut and emboss machine with me because I wasn't quite sure exactly what I was going to do tonight. So I was like, okay, well, we'll just get out the little mini machine and we'll have it close by so that we're ready. Okay, here we go. Let me grab this. If you have not cut all your supplies yet, you can fix my mistakes. And if you have, as I say, no worries. Some extra stuff. Okay, so we are going to make at least 2 cards tonight, depending what you cut. So you need a card base, standard card base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And you need at least 2 of those because we will make 2 cards. Okay. And then we have a piece of cardstock that is 5 1/4 by 4. And again, you will need 2 of those. I have said embossed. Hopefully, you know embossing is always optional, but there is some open space on this, and I thought it looked nice with some embossing. So I have embossed mine. I have used the Time Worn Type embossing folder. Hello, Terry. Thanks for joining us. We were just talking about you in a wonderful way. So Terry has joined us. Terry is the Terry that I mentioned, my friend from the United States, and she and I have teamed up for the Get Together party that we will be hosting in January. So you'll get to craft with both of us and our friends. So that will be fun. We're looking forward to it. Okay, here's my first mistake, and they're both on this piece of paper. So designer series paper, 4 by 3 1/4. Okay, mine is actually 3 1/2. And if you haven't cut it 3 1/2. If you've cut it at 3 1/4, don't worry, it will still work. And I said 4 tall because people tell me they like to know which orientation they want for their paper. And oops, it actually goes this way. So it should be 4 wide by 3 1/4 tall. You know, I think it's the first time I've told you which way to cut your paper, and I messed up. So hopefully you have a piece of paper that doesn't have a pattern, but if you do, we'll find a way to make it work. We'll just maybe go a little bit smaller on how it gets attached, but I apologize for that. I'm just, like I said, I don't know what happened, but my brain was all wrong. Hey, basic white cardstock shape for an image, something you could stamp an image on or to attach die cuts to. It's up to you, depends, and it doesn't have to be a circle. I've used it's about 2 3/4 inches, this circle, and it is from the layered circle dies. It is, I believe, the second largest. But it's about 2 3/4 inches, and you will need 2 of those, 1 for each card. Okay. Now I have said a strip of designer series paper that is 3/4 of an inch wide by about 10, and the 10 is not super crucial. And it doesn't even have to be 10. It could be half of that. It could be 5, somewhere between 4 1/2 and 5 inches. So if you have shorter paper that you're using, if you're using 6 by 6, that would work. You could cut 2 3/4 of an inch strips that are 6 inches long or whatever you have left on your piece. So that was, I write this stuff the way I'm doing it, the way I built my card and how I cut my supplies in it. I need to remember that there are other ways. A piece of basic white cardstock for your sentiment. I've used a 1/2 inch strip, but you could put it right onto this, your circle if you decide to do that, or you could have another shape, whatever you like. But that was just to give you some sort of an idea that you would need something somewhere along the lines for a sentiment. And then all your regulars, some stamps and ink, adhesive, embellishments, and you will need a trimmer. Okay. Trimmer, paper snips, those usual sorts of things. So let's get started and see what sort of chaos we can create. So the first thing we are going to do you want to see the card? Do you want to see the card now, or do you want to start on making it before I reveal all? We'll bring down my trimmer while you let me know. Hello, Dean. Welcome. Dean is down in Brazil in the sunny south. So we're a little jealous of him. Lorna wants to see the card now. Okay, no one else has chimed in, so Lorna wins. Okay, so here's the card that we're going to make. So here is our designer series paper, and we are going to cut this. But this is the 4 inches. Hello, Nancy, welcome. This is the 4 inches across, not tall, across. So that was my mistake. If your paper has a pattern and you need to do it the other way, you could do it this way. We'll just cut everything to be the same size as that, okay? So we can make it work. And if it doesn't have a pattern, just turn it. It'll work, okay? So there's one piece, and here's that strip. And this is why it's longer, because when you're going on an angle, my strip here is about 4.5 inches long. Depending on the angle that you cut, you may need it a little bit longer. Oh, thanks, Terry. I'm glad you like the card. Yes, they are kind of terry colors, aren't they? Calypso Coral and Mango Melody. Here is the other one. So on this one, so here is my sentiment that I had on my little narrow strip there. This one I have used a die cut. So here I stamped right on my circle, and here I've mounted a die cut on my circle. So a couple of options for you as we get to that part, okay? And you might be looking at this paper, and I've sort of put this paper out there a couple of times that you may have seen, and you might be saying, hey, what is that paper? That's really nice. I kind of like that. This is Dandy Designs, I think. It's dandy. It's dandy something. It's dandy paper. And it is going to be available as a celebration item starting in January. So as a demonstrator, I have had an opportunity to get some of that already. And I took a look at it. It was so lovely. I had to play with it. So here we are. It's on tonight's cards. Alrighty, so here is our designer series paper. This is my 4-inch slide, and if you can, you want your paper to go this way. So this is the 4-inch slide that you want, and what we're going to do, we're going to cut on an angle this way. So I'm going to cut this side small and this top small. You can cut it anywhere at all. If you're looking for some sort of reference, I'm going to put this, and put it about there. So I have my top corner is at 1 1/4, and my bottom corners at 2 1/4. And it doesn't matter where it is or what your angle is. You're just cutting it to get 2 pieces. Okay. Now, because we are cutting on an angle, sometimes your blade will catch your paper a little bit funny. So I always recommend that when you're cutting on angles, you start your cutting blade somewhere in the middle of your paper, okay? And then you're going to go up and you can come back down. And that way you will not crush the edges. And it's not as likely to happen when you're cutting something like this, but if you are cutting at a very corner of your paper, if you were cutting an angle there, it can crush this corner quite easily. And then you don't have a nice clean cut. So I always recommend anytime you're cutting on an angle, just start somewhere in the middle of your paper and cut out each direction. Okay, so there's our 2 pieces of paper. We only need 1 for each card, and that's why I said we would make 2 cards. Okay, now I need to put this somewhere safe so I know where it is for the next card. What are the chances, eh? Alrighty, card base. I have scored that already. I'm just going to give it a fold and burnish it with my bone folder. Okay. And then I'm going to bring in, I'll set that to the side. I'm going to bring in my 5 1/4 by 4 piece. And we are going to put this down onto the bottom. I'm going to bring in my silicone mat just because, well, I'll probably just use, I'll just use adhesive for this, tape runner for this, but I am going to be gluing the strip in a moment. And the glue on that will go over the edge. So I'm ready. You're just going to put this on. I put it right flush against the bottom. If, actually, let me just pause here for a moment. If your paper had a pattern, and so you have it 4 tall, so you would have a little gap on these edges. What you want to do before you glue that down is take your 3/4 of an inch strip and cut it to size. Okay, so you're going to go over the edge here, and you may even want to just glue it down a little bit, maybe sacrifice a little bit of your 3/4 of an inch if you wish, and so that you can cut straight edges on this. We're going to trim it off the whole edge of here, but if you're narrower, obviously you wouldn't be able to cut it quite as easily. So if you have a pattern that has a direction, you may need to wiggle around with that a little bit. Nancy, I've just backtracked slightly for you because I know you, I think it was one night when you were on, and a few of you had asked that I give you the direction of the designer series paper to make it easier for cutting. So I told you to cut it 4 tall and 3 1/4 wide, and it should have been 4 wide because this is my 4 inches across here. So now that I'm, doing what you guys asked me to do, I'm messing it up. So I apologize to everyone for that. But anyway, the next thing we're going to do is we are going to attach this strip. So you're just going to put it a little past this edge and a little bit past this edge. So that's as far as you need to go with your adhesive. I am going to just use some of the liquid multi-purpose glue here. Spread it out a little bit. And then this is where the silicone mat is very handy, because obviously I've got glue to the edge of my paper, which is not not going to be all over my card. And I don't want my glue on here because for sure I will set something down in it. So there's little bits of glue on my silicone mat. That will be super easy to clean off later. I could wipe it now while it's wet, or you can just let it dry and it will just rub off with your fingers. But they're super easy to clean. And then there's nothing sticky here. So just one of the wonderful uses for the silicone mat. I think that's sort of that was its primary goal in life. But anyway, so there we go. So now we have our designer series paper and our strip, and we are ready to decorate this. I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do. I did die cut one of these. Could use that. I could put something behind it too, couldn't I? I could do Coastal Cabana on Coastal Cabana, or I could do it on Bonnie Blue. Here, yes, Bonnie Blue. Not positive about that. Or I could just leave it on the basic white. But I think that I will also stamp a couple of leaves. Maybe I'll stamp the leaves in Balmy Blue to add to it, similar to the one of the cards that I made the last time. So this is from the Cup of Tea stamp set again. And I have my Stamp and Pierce mat. This is half a Stamp and Pierce mat to create a little foam underneath so that I get a nice image with my photopolymer stamps. There we go. Okay. And I did not cut these in advance. Oh, the cat is going to knock the bin off the chair. Oscar feels that he must sit here while I craft these days, it seems. He's very, very clingy. I don't know what the deal is, but anyway. So I haven't pulled this guy out on any of my lives for a while, so I thought perhaps tonight would be the night. So this is our mini Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine, and it will fit an awful lot of our dies. The vast majority of our dies will fit into the mini, so you can use it. What does not fit into the mini is our regular embossing folders. Now they do make a number of half size embossing folders and they will fit in here, but the, you know, like the type one that I used for this card on the 5 1/4 by 4 cardstock, you could not do that with the mini machine. So it is awesome and it does do many, many things, but it doesn't do everything. So just be aware, but it's very handy. It does not take up a lot of space on your desk or your shelf, wherever you happen to want to store it. It's very lightweight, so it's easy to carry around if you store it in one room and craft in another room. It can do a lot of things. Small but mighty. There we go. Okay, I'm going to set this aside for now. And okay, so now I think, and this I die cut this. I did not put adhesive sheets on the back of this guy. That's okay. We'll just put some glue onto some of these places. So is everybody in the middle of a bit of a snowstorm there? Actually, Terry, I think I heard that Iowa was getting quite a bit today. You're still in Iowa. I don't think you've gone to Florida yet, have you? Well, that's this weekend. So lucky Terry is off to Florida for the winter. So I'm not jealous. No, not at all. I could so easily be a snowbird. Blue Mountain did open today. We did not go. We had thought about it, toyed with the idea. They don't have a lot of runs open when they first open up. And so we decided, you know what, now that I've done those, that's not really going to look. I guess I could cut them off, couldn't I? I'm going to snip my stems off because I don't want them to show through this clear teacup I have here. Anyway, yes, so Blue Mountain did open. They had 2 lifts because they have the learning centers open in the village, and then the main lift at the village is also open. But we had some things we wanted to do today, and so we just sort of decided that we wouldn't jump on the opening day bandwagon this year. Not sure when we'll go. Possibly tomorrow. Have to see. Haven't decided. Oh, lots of rain where you are, Lorna. Oh my. Hopefully it doesn't all freeze. Although I guess, yeah, I don't think you were really in what they were calling for all over the place. So I get blue in there. Looks like I got blue in there. Wait, so there's my piece. Move this to the side. And then I just need a sentiment. And I had a strip of paper for that. Oh, look, I still do. It's a good thing. Now I have I thought I should make some thank you cards. So there are some thank yous. Where did I put my stamp set? It's gone now. There's a couple of thank yous in here. So there's this thank you, which I had on this one card, this card right on the teacup, and I do like that. But if you want it on a strip, there's this thank you for your friendship, and I just want to thank you. So that's what I put onto this one. It's very tiny. You can read it, but it is very tiny. Thank you. And then this little one says, I just can't thank you enough. And this is made to fit on this little tea bag or tea bag tag. And it does, but it's very tiny. So I decided that I would go to Beauty of Friendship. And it has a thank you that is narrow and small, but not quite as small. And that's what I'm going to use for this card. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so it again is photopolymer, so I have my foam mat. Just going to put that about there. Hopefully it's straight. This is a bit of a funny angle for me to stamp at. Let's see how we did. Oh, I think we did okay. Oh, freezing rain. Oh, the dog was slipping and slid when she went out. Oh dear, yes. It's it can be tough for the pets, can't it, to get around when all of a sudden things get very slippery. And if you have a small dog and the snow is very deep, that's often you know, so many pet owners you see, they have to shovel a trail in their backyard because their pet can't get out into the backyard to take care of business, and that's not a good situation. So kind of don't know if I like this the stamping here. It's a little bit faint. I might try that once more. I'm going to use a fresh piece of paper, and we'll do a do a you know, best 2 out of 3 or something here. And then just need to remember to press it all the way across. There we go. Oh, that one looks like it's better. I think I might use this one. I think I'm just going to do this one straight. Sometimes I do it on an angle. I think I'm just going to snip this. Oh, there we go. Okay, and now we are ready to go. Donna said her husband has to shovel for the dogs. Yes, I totally understand, Donna. It's they have to be able to get around, and when the snow gets deep, if your dog is shorted in the snow, not something we think about because the snow is not very often taller than us, but you know, when you're smaller, it can be a problem. Okay, so I'm just putting all of this down onto here. I could have put the other pieces onto it first, but we'll just get it down onto there. I trust that I'm not going to mess up at this point. Famous last words, right? But I think I'm going to pop this up with dimensionals. Just get some dimensionals onto here. Looks like a reindeer. There you go, Nancy. There's some punch art for you. The look, 2 eyes and a nose. The head might be a little bit big for the antlers, and the antlers maybe should be spread apart a little bit more. But that could be a reindeer for sure. Kind of cute. Doesn't look anything like a reindeer from this side. Not even remotely. Then I just need, oh, I think I might, oh. Now I was playing with this with the other card. This strip freaks me out for doing stuff on an angle here. I don't know whether it should be the same angle or I don't know that it should be a different angle. I think that would look funny, but it could be straight. It could be straight out from there, or it could be down here, or it could be up top, like the other one. I kind of like it on the cup though. I think I'm going to put it on the cup. So now because I have dimensionals here, I need a dimensional on this side, and then this will just be liquid glue glued flat to that. Thanks, Donna. I'm glad you like this card. It's I like these colors. I like this paper. And when I was first looking at it, I thought, Coastal Cabana and Balmy Blue together? That is a strange combination. And it's not one that I would normally put together, but I like it together. It seems to be working. So once again, Stampin' Up! Knows what they're doing, as is so often the case. Oh, thanks for the love there. Appreciate that. Okay, so we'll just put this onto here. I think, make sure it's straight. There we go. That will work. And then some embellishments. Oh, and I didn't really plan any embellishments. So oh, I have a few right here. Look, the whole bucket. Oh, so we have these gold swirls. Those are really pretty. Could just do rhinestones. That always works. What about these? These fun flowers. They're not, that's Starry Sky and Parakeet Party, so not quite the right colors perhaps. Opal rounds. Sometimes these opal rounds look very blue. Tonight they're looking very pink. I'm not sure about that. Oh, iridescent pearls, but I need some bigger ones. This guy's almost empty. They are nice too, though. I have some of them in here. I know I have these. Case of finding where they are. Many decisions. Oh, iridescent? No, those are definitely showing as pink. And I have a whole lot of, oh, here's something else we could use. These guys are floating around in here. There's the brass butterflies. I haven't used those for a while. Maybe we should do some brass butterflies. I seem to have a few little pieces of those floating around. Not sure why, but anyway. Whoops. Okay. So these things can go over here. And it would look nice with those iridescent pearls. I just need some more of the big ones. So we'll go with the butterflies for now because they will work. There. And there you have it. A little different layout, and this can work for any kind of card. I think Suzette, I think you said you were going to be working on Christmas cards because you still need some Christmas cards. So if anybody else is doing Christmas cards, this layout can totally work for that. There's lots of really fun fun die cuts for Christmas stuff that you could use on that circle. So I'm just going to start on this other card since I have everything ready, sort of, kind of. I cut one of these that I thought I would use. I thought I would stamp it the same as I did on this one. Oh, but I cut it in balmy blue. I'm not sure what color ink. I might need a darker ink then. Might have to pull out the Night of Navy for that so that it shows, because I don't think the balmy blue will show up very well. What am I looking for? I'm looking for my designer series paper. You know that paper that I need to put somewhere safe? Yeah, that piece. Okay. Bring in this. There we go. And the size of your piece of designer series paper is not crucial. Okay, so you can have it taller if you want it and have lots of patterned paper on your card. You could have it smaller if you wanted, although you know there's not too much you can take off of here, but you know, you could trim it down a little bit if you just want a border, any size at all. And that's why the the messed up size in the measurement was not crucial. It was just the the orientation that I messed up. So hopefully you've been able to get it to work. And I will try to do better next week. What's the date next week? How close are we to Christmas? 22nd. So at this point, I am planning to do Connie's craft along next Thursday night. So if you are hanging out and looking for something to do before before the the big crazy Christmas Day, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Boxing Day, whatever whatever you have going on with family or friends, you could put this on and wrap presents while I craft and gab at you for a while. But anyway, my plan is to be here, so hopefully you can join me. Okay, I did have 2 circles that I had cut out. Oh, there we go. I still have 2 circles. Okay. Looks like it's got caught in something. Maybe I'll turn it over. Just when you die cut things, sometimes there's just a little bit of an edge that comes up from your die blade. So if you take your bone folder and just kind of go around the edge, you can smooth it off, and then it looks like it's upside down. Okay, so I've got that, and I've got my thank you. I just need some ink. I think I'm going to, I could go with, what is this green? I don't know that I want green in that. That's quite different. I think I might just go with Night of Navy. I think that might be safer. Oh, let me grab that. And if it doesn't work well, look, I cut 2. I have a backup. It wasn't really cut as a backup. I was thinking I might do one on each of my cards, and then I noticed this other cutout teacup, and I thought, oh, that's kind of fun. Maybe I'll do one of those. So it's not a backup, it's an extra at this point, but we'll see. We may not need it. This works. There we go. It looks okay on the teacup. We'll see how it looks against the patterned paper. So I mentioned that this designer series paper is from Celebration. Celebration will start in January. January 5th, the new mini catalog goes live. So I need something to come out of my teacup, don't I? It's a little bit plain and boring. So we could do some of those again, or we could do this, which doesn't look like much right there, I don't think, but it has a stamp somewhere. Did I take it off of the block? I used it yesterday, so it shouldn't be far away. Let's just see if I put it away. Look, I put it away. How organized was that? All right, so we will put this onto a block, and what do we think? Maybe Coastal Cabana? I wonder what Coastal Cabana stamped on Bonnie Blue would look like. We're not sure. Maybe we'll use that white piece that I stick with. Kind of messy looking. We'll do it on this side. Okay, Coastal Cabana. Or we could do it navy. Maybe I should do it in navy just to sort of tie the navy in. And if we don't like it, you know, plan B is stamp and die cut again. Just because I'm using my mini machine, I'm going to stamp this on a bit of an angle. Anytime you are die cutting, if you can feed your dies into your cut and emboss machine on an angle. Now this one has lots of different edges, so it wouldn't be that crucial, but this flat edge, if you can avoid having that feed into your cut and emboss machine straight on, that's a good thing. And the reason you want to avoid that is it creates less pressure on your rollers and it creates less pressure on your dies. If you have square dies or rectangular dies and you feed them in with a long flat edge, you probably notice that they tend to warp and bend. So if you put them in on an angle, and it doesn't have to be a huge angle, almost any bit of an angle will help. Then they won't warp as much, and it will be less pressure on your roller blades feeding through, and it will be easier to crank. And this would be very easy to crank because I don't know where I put my plates. Okay, we know I have them because I use them, right? How far away can they be? Oh, they are inside my folder of scraps. Just a little bit ridiculous, but that's what happens sometimes, right? Okay. You want to see what I'm doing here? But I should move it up a little bit, shouldn't I? Okay, so I have my paper, and this is going to go in on an angle when I get it lined up. Are you ready? I need to actually stand up and look at this. Okay, there we go. I think I have it. Oh, okay. Ah. And we have a second plate. And we're all good. Okay, let's. Oh. I'm probably shaking you. I apologize. Nope. Okay. Set this down. I'm pretty sure I don't need that again tonight. But I'll put the plates right beside it so I know where they are next time. Okay. So what do we think of this? Yes, I think navy was a good call because it just kind of ties that in, doesn't it? Okay. We can do this. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to pop this guy up on dimensionals this time, just for something different and fun. And then I can tuck the those leaf things in afterwards, so I'll know where my teacup is, so I know where I want that, and because it's lifted, I can tuck it right in afterwards, and I'll be fine. I wonder if I wanted that a little bit higher. I haven't given it a big push. I'm going to move my teacup up a little bit over. But the teacup itself is not right in the middle of the circle because, of course, there is a handle. So remember when you're putting your glue onto your pieces that are going to stick up above your circle, that you don't want the glue to go up beyond the circle. Okay, just put that into there, and hopefully, no, my glue does not come up that high. We're all good. There we go. Okay, this is coming together quite nicely. Now, because I don't need another sentiment, I could put this in the middle of my card just to be different, couldn't I? I think I like that. Okay. And I'm going to do this with dimensionals as well. Lots of dimensionals there, but this will be perfect for up here. Go. I haven't used the cup of tea stamp set for a while, but it's kind of nice to go back to some of the wonderful stamp sets from the annual catalog. And it's exciting that we have a new catalog coming, and there's some wonderful things in there, but there are some great stamp sets in the annual catalog, and I will share some and feature some for you again as we start into the new year, along with some new products from the new mini catalog. And of course, Celebration. And you know, Celebration has to have one of those really cute stamp sets. And I don't know, I don't give a hoot what it is this year. There you go. There's your clue for what the cute stamp set is this coming Celebration. And yes, I have it already, so I will show it to you very soon. There we go. Okay, now, do we want butterflies again? We could use butterflies again, couldn't we? Bring them in here. And grab this guy. Maybe a little bit too much of an angle. These guys are very sticky. I think he's going to go on that much of an angle. Because he's kind of stuck right down. Different angle. There we go. Okay, so there you have it. So there are the cards we made tonight. Here, slide over. Here are the cards that I had made before. So 4 cards, quick and easy. I hope you like them. Terry, I'm glad you liked them. So this paper is a lot of fun. We are going to use this one again because I have to tell you there are some other patterns in there that are just awesome and pretty colors. Lots of different colors in there that I will share with you. Okay, so there's your craft along for tonight. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you have crafted along with me and made some cards. I will I haven't taken pictures of these. I will get these up as soon as I can. But feel free to put them in the comments on my Facebook page, either under the supplies. If you saw the post with the supplies that you need to prepare, you can post your picture of your cards in there, in the comments in that one, or I'll get these up as soon as I can. And then you can post it in the comments under mine. Thanks for the love and the thumbs up. I appreciate that. I hope you have enjoyed it. And I've loved hanging out with you all. Thanks so much for the love. I'm feeling the love. It's a good night. It's always a good night when you're hanging out with friends and crafting, isn't it? Thanks so much for joining me. We will see you all again really soon. Bye for now, everyone.